Alright, have to restart this video. So this video is a little different to some of the videos I do. And before any of the haters say anything, I am not a Wilder fanboy. Okay, I'm not one of those people that screams out bomb squad and comments below in the videos with all the emojis and disrespects Anthony Joshua. However, I do think that Wilder is a very good boxer. I think he's a tremendous fighter. I also love Tyson Fury. I love his style. I love his charisma. I love his talk. Just the way he moves in the ring, the way he holds himself, his comeback, all of it. I love it. Right? I like Joshua a lot as well. I think he's a physical specimen. I think he's a tremendous athlete. I think he's excellent at what he does. And he holds himself very well. I like White. I like Chisora. Miller's a bit of fun as well. I don't really have any animosity towards anyone in the heavyweight division. All of them got their flaws here and there. Wilder gets a bit wild and, isn't great with the negotiations. Fury talks a lot of crap, but, he's really smart in the ring, So, for me, I think Wilder won against Fury. And again, I've just said I'm not a Wilder fanboy. I have watched this fight back too many times to count, right? I didn't actually watch it live at first. I actually listened in on the True Geordie live stream. From what they were saying, it seemed like Fury had convincingly won that fight, okay? It sounded like he just outboxed Wilder, and then it sounded like even with the knockdowns in between, Fury, evened the score out because, Fury peppered up a few punches and combinations. So, again, a lot of the casuals are going to hate, dislike, and comment, but that's okay. We're all entitled to our own opinion, right? So, at first I thought Fury won, and then from looking at the highlights and a few of the rounds, even on BT Sport and some reactions, I thought it was a draw. I thought, okay, a draw is fair, right? But lately, I looked at the punch stats, and it's 71 punches for Wilder, and 84 or 83 for Fury. Now, that's like 13 punches difference, right? Which, to me, doesn't decide the winner of a fight. Because I'm seeing all these articles on, like, punch stats prove that Fury won. If you look at Chisora and White, number 2, the rematch, Chisora was throwing a lot, but the crisper punches were coming from White. It was like their first fight back in 2016. And Chisora hurt White twice. There was no stage where Chisora was hurt in the first fight. So White still won that though. Yeah, because, he counterpunched and he had an answer with the jab and so on. Right? Now, people are going to definitely disagree, and that's fine. But for me, I have to explain this because these are the rounds, how I assessed the rounds, okay, and, how I scored them, okay? So, just bear with me here. Now, from the start of this fight, right, I'm watching live streams on That Boxing Voice, that channel show, on YouTube, excuse me. And everyone's saying oh yeah, 1-0 Fury, 2-0 Fury, 5-0 Fury. That's all good when you're watching it live and enjoying the fight, right? But when you watch it back 2 or 3 times and say the same thing and because people are giving Wilder, oh yeah, round 2, round 9 and round 12, but then they're saying, oh no, not round 9 because it was at the back of the head and that doesn't count, right? But I don't know if you people are stupid, but it was clearly a knockdown. Okay, the ref gave him a count. Fury got up at 9, right? And credit to Fury, he got up and took that shot. He's got the heart of a lion. But on both counts, he got up at 9. I'll get to that anyway. Now, for me, Wilder, he won the first round, and I'll explain why. One, he took the center of the ring pretty much straight away as soon as they started, right? So, when judges are looking at that, when I look at that anyway, I'm thinking ring control. right? Because I'm looking at this way back multiple times, right? I'm thinking, okay, he's got ring control. Second, he throws the first punch, and that first punch goes to the body. Now, I know at Canelo and Lara, the punches there, the body shots might not have been counted by Canelo against Lara, but they fucking did count. I mean, he won the decision in the end. He beat Lara, yeah. So it's effective. It's an effective, stiff, stinging, long, rangy jab that hits the body, And I know Wilder missed a lot of punches this round, but you cannot give points to Fury for his herky-jerky movement at the top. Those aren't punches. Those are just little stutters and feints, right? Now, Wilder's like throwing like 1-2s and he's missing, okay? But you know what? Some of these are landing off the shoulders of Fury. So maybe a judge, because they don't always have the benefit of the replay, they see that impact and like, oh, he got hit. Or, you might have taken a shot to the side of the head, right? Again, we don't know the inner workings of judges, but Wilder won that first round. He's more aggressive. The jabs to the body, the right hand to the body, on the side near the kidney as well, that counted. Backing up to the ropes, right? He won that round, okay? I'm trying to watch it at the same time as I commentate now, but I can't because it just won't allow me within this app. Kindmaster. We go to round 2, and Steve Farhold gave round 2 to Wilder, so I could just go along with that. It was pretty much like round 1. I will say that near the end of round 1, where Wilder tried to 1-2 with the right hand and Fury countered and did a little flurry, you could argue that Fury won that. But 6 punches, 5 to 6 punches at the end of the first round, that doesn't really cut it because, for me, I just think the aggression, that's the main thing, the aggression, and the jabs to the body. It was more diverse, whereas Fury, he just went for the head. And again, you can say Fury threw those punches, but Wilder's got this high guard where he brings his hands up pretty wide, he's able to catch and parry with his gloves, and it hits his arm and shoulders, Even if, 2 get through, okay, fair enough. But you can't give a round to Fury based off 4 seconds of punches. Wilder, he was staying busy that round, right? Round 2, pretty much round 1. Round 3, I just thought more were thrown from Wilder and there's more aggression. Again, I know Fury threw maybe a couple more combinations, but it's the ring control and the aggression that I do find to be effective. I find that Wilder's just backing him up. And I know Fury's making a miss. The head movement and the defensive maneuvers are beautiful. They are superb. I've never seen it. It's so wonderful to see that. That skill and that, wonderful pugilism, that technique of the defense. But, some of these were close rounds, and I'll get to that. But the way I counted Fury in round 3 to throw about 22 punches and Wilder 16, right? Again, not too wide off, but again, the jab to the body, the small power shots. I didn't really see Fury pepper too much. He threw the 1-2, which was very effective. But I just think when Fury's backed up, right, and again, it doesn't mean you're not allowed to back up in boxing, but if you want to make someone miss, make them miss. Getting hit on the side of the ear, that's not going to cut it to win a round. Again, round 4, again, that was down to pretty much aggression and, there was so much time spent in the clinch in this fight. It was ridiculous. The ref, a good 10 seconds of breaking them up and holding them back and then allowing them to continue to fight. Who did more clinching in this fight? Fury did more clinching in this fight. He just held a bit more, right? Now, you can debate this one pretty well. Round 5 was pretty close. I think Fury probably nicked it because of the combinations. I thought he moved around the ring better. Wilder was trying to be aggressive in that round and wasn't as effective in the earlier round. So, it's a pretty close round, okay? It's 10-9, so, it's not far off, It could go either way, that one, but I think Fury is pretty much deserving of that round because he just worked better than Wilder. I know Wilder tried to be aggressive, but you couldn't touch him in that round. The jab to the body, like the jab to the body, was effective, but it wasn't enough in that round. Round 6, right? Fury won that. Just the better combinations. He moved around the ring so well. He just that jab, that little flutter jab, and then the 1-2, the hook cross, beautiful. And then he started jabbing to the body a bit. Round 7. Again, beautiful. He kept catching Wilder with that 1-2. He made him look silly. He made him look like he was on, real stick legs for a minute. Like he was just parrying. Wilder was throwing a couple hooks here and there, but it wasn't enough. That wasn't enough from Wilder there. He had his hands down and Fury was just, jabbing him. Good head movement by Wilder. People don't notice it, but he slips very well and he rolls. And Fury couldn't hit him at times. I thought Fury moved around so well. He was able to just go to the sides, good lateral movement. It was just so good. He was making Wilder miss. Like, it's just so much like a Mayweather. It's like a heavyweight Mayweather, and he can punch. People say Fury can't punch, but knocking people out doesn't mean, you're the best puncher. Like, obviously Wilder's the best puncher out of all the punchers in the heavyweight division, but Fury's got power. He could knock out Wilder if they fight again. Round 8, I gave to Fury. Again, I'm trying to remember these at the top of my head, but I just thought the 1-2 and then the 2 fake jabs in front of the face and the hook cross were good. But again, we can't mistake those for punches that landed, because just flicking it in his face but not actually hitting him or hitting the arms, that's not going to cut it. You got to actually hit, you got to land, right? The same can be said for Wilder. But there is a difference in the power level. And when judges see that at the end of the day, that convincing, significant looking punch counts. And that's scored already. But again, between those, 4 rounds, 5, 6, 7, and 8, again, 5 could go either way, but, I'll probably give it to Fury for the combinations. 5, 6, 7, and 8, that's Fury's rounds, okay? So far, we got Wilder, I've got Wilder, winning round 1, 2, 3, and 4. Based on investment in the body, with the jabs and the cross, right? The 1-2 with Fury up against the ropes. Some of the hooks thrown, the little check hooks, right? Aggression, yeah. A few counter jabs in the first round. He was better in the first half of the fight, right? Pretty much, maybe slow starters aren't, but he was very good there, okay? Now we get on to round 9. Now, this was a knockdown. People say they didn't count at round 9 for Wilder. Even fans of Wilder, Nesta Gibbs on the Boxing Voice said, I didn't give 9 to Wilder. Maybe I misheard him and didn't listen properly, but that was a knockdown, And then again, backing up to the ropes before that knockdown and then the eventual knockdown, he got up at 9. Bear this in mind, he didn't get up at 6 or 7, right? That was a hard shot. He got up at 9, right? And that is quite a while to be on the ground for, right? That's almost a good 10 seconds, okay? So he gets up at 9. He was very good at recovering, right? Wilder came for him a bit, was missing. Fury, amazing head movement. The defensive skills he has surpass every other heavyweight in this division, in this era anyway. Trying to keep him off, moving around. Wilder was getting wild and, he was almost punching himself out. But again, he was hitting him, across the arms and at the side of the head at times. So, that counted. And then Fury came back a bit. He's got the heart of a lion and he's just storming forward. But again, some of those weren't really connecting. They were hitting the shoulders or, under the arms. So that didn't really cut it for me for Fury to win that back. I really don't see it's a 10-8 round, points deducted. So for me, Wilder won that. And then Fury in round 10 comes back and just absolutely goes in and dominates that round. Wilder has never been outboxed so much in his life in that round. He got peppered up bad. That is really when the hard 1-2s came crashing down. in the center of the ring, on the counter, against the ropes. I don't think Wilder won much of that fight. In round 10, I thought Fury did an amazing job in recovering. But this is where all the fans get it wrong. Okay? Just because he can perform like that since getting knocked down, that doesn't really make up for that point. Like, yeah, you won round 10, but you can't take away that knockdown. Yeah? And we're talking about people saying that Wilder wouldn't land anything significant on Fury. And look what happened, But yeah, that round for Fury was beautiful. That jab was working so well. It was right in Wilder's face. Wilder really didn't have an answer in that round at all. I thought he was, almost a bit useless in that round. He came forward a bit and did nothing, really. He kind of just stared at him in that round. So that easily, for me, is a Fury round. Now, again, round 11's a funny one because, the combinations from Fury, but the work rate from Wilder. Yeah? This is a close round, and I've got to watch it back again. But I've got this one for Wilder. And please, before you, put your comments in or, wince, people just don't understand how boxing works. I box till this day. I'm an amateur boxer, right? And I am looking to actually go pro soon. And for me, like, you gotta understand the body shots that Fury was taking, right? Again, he's not wincing at the body shots. He's not like, out of breath. But it's effective. You can literally hear the impact. Even if it isn't a hard shot, it's still hitting the body. Yeah, like when Wilder goes and throws a hook or, straight right to the body, that counts. And it's sending Fury back to the ropes. I'll also say that earlier on, I think it was in round 4, or maybe it was in round 5, I think Wilder landed a jab, and then that's when Fury was backed up to the ropes, and then Wilder came forward a bit, and then Fury had a bit of a bloody nose from then on throughout the fight. So for me, like, that counts, and that's what happened in round 11. There were a few hard shots that Fury took. Now, Fury's going out of round 11 with his hand, raised high, and all his, UK fans are, at the front row saying, yeah, Wilder's a dosser, you're getting outboxed. But if you look at round 11, it's pretty clear that Wilder's just doing all the work. Like, he's coming forward, all this feinting and, like, little juddering and herky-jerky movement and showmanship that Fury's doing, he's doing that, and then the next minute he's getting a jab to the gut. So, when you count that, like, it's close round, I'll say that, but the aggression, the ring control, even, look, I know Wilder threw some really weird punch. It was like a rabbit punch or like a hammer punch. But what would you rather be doing to win a fight? Being active and, at least throwing and, even if you don't hit clean, I mean, look at that bruise on, Fury's shoulder and arm, it's on his back as well. Like, yeah, he's not hitting the right spots, like, to the abdomen all the time or the face all the time, but he's throwing. And again, judges don't always have the best angles. So, they will see this, they will hear the impact, and they'll go, oh, he's landing. Yeah. Again, we don't know the inner working of judges, but when Wilder throws, he throws. Okay? And even if it doesn't land, it's still work. It's effective aggression. Effective aggression does not always mean you have to land a punch, yeah? Because there's a difference there. Effective aggression is when you're landing, right? But you don't always have to land. You can, maybe get 2 shots in clean and the rest might not hit as clean and I might miss. But you will send the guy running around the ring, you will send him back to the ropes and then he might clinch. You have forced that guy now, your opponent, to grab you because he might be in trouble. Or he's just looking to buy some time or recover or, not get hit as much. Okay? Now, ineffective aggression is when you just, like what Klitschko did, right? He came forward, but Fury was just parrying and blocking and, having that lateral movement, making Klitschko not be able to do anything, right? And that's what Wilder did in, like, round 10. He did it a bit in round 5, and he did it in round 6, 7, and 8, yeah? and moments in between other rounds. So again, like, Wilder was ineffective at times, but most of the time was effective in coming forward and, at least throwing. Okay, it was a bit like Maidana and Mayweather, just a bit less punch output from Wilder compared to Maidana. But I'm not saying Wilder had less punch output, right? So again, 11 for Wilder, because going into round 12, Jay Diaz, the coach in the corner, is saying, have you got a big round for me? And he gets a 10-8 because he knocks Fury down. Do not tell me that Fury, earned that round back or won that round back, because as commendable as that, way to get up was from that knockdown, he got knocked down. And listen, before the fight, people were screaming, oh, Wilder's not going to ever hit him. Fury's convincing everyone that Wilder will not land. I've never seen a cleaner knockdown in my life. Like, the right hand and then the left hook. And the funny thing is, Fury rode with that right hand and that left hook. He turned his head to take the impact off, even though it was hard still. So, like, for me, it was just remarkable how he got up. But again, that's Fury. I wasn't really surprised that he got up, because Fury is very tough, But that knockdown, the way he fell, I thought there was a high possibility that he also wouldn't get up. I, don't really care about the little flutter punches that Fury's doing, when Wilder's got his high guard up, because Fury can get, points for making Wilder miss with all his head movement and herky-jerky stuff, but so can Wilder when he rolls the shots, when he catches the shot with his glove that people fail to see. I'm yawning again, excuse me. When he parries it and catches it with his glove, and when he blocks with the high guard, and when he just moves out of the way, yeah? Fury did it, Wilder did it, they just had, different ways of defending themselves, and both were effective. It was the big left hook, I think, or a left hook or right hand, or right hook, right cross and left hook, that kind of stunned Wilder, and it made him hold. I don't think Wilder was too badly hurt, but I think he really felt that shot and thought, crap, I might as well just hold, because he might follow up with another one. And if I stay within, striking distance, then I might take another shot, and that might put me down even. So, overall though, Fury didn't win that round back. You can't win a round back. Listen, the only way to win a round back is if you land like freaking over 100 punches, or you get a knockdown. Then the knockdowns cancel each other out. Yeah, or I think it might be a second knockdown or something. So, I don't know, man. And the count, listen, I can't argue with the count. The ref called, 8-9, and then Fury got up. But, again, another second, and that would have been called off. If that was in the UK, that definitely would have been called off. Yeah, so, again, if you just look at it, you got Wilder, right? There, we already, excuse me. Yeah, that's how tired I am of this subject, but I thought I'd just clear it up. So, round 1, Wilder. Round 2, Wilder. Round 3, Wilder. Round 4, Wilder. Round 5, Fury. Round 6, Fury. Round 7, Fury. Round 8, Fury. Round 9, Wilder. That's a 10-8 round. Fury didn't win that round back. Do not say I was behind the back of the head. Even Paulie on the commentary, he said something sensible for once. He does say a lot of sensible things, but a lot of stupid things. It was behind the ear, so that counted. Round 10, definitely Fury. Round 11, close round, but I'm telling you, the aggression, once again, and the investment in the body, Wilder. Round 12, 10-8 round, knockdown, Wilder. So that means Wilder gets 4 rounds first, right? Fury gets another 4. Wilder gets 1. So hang on, adding this all up, Wilder gets 7 rounds, and Fury gets 5 rounds, right? Feel free to comment, okay? Feel free to comment, but guys, I've watched this fight back so many times, and I've looked at all the punches, right? Ones that might have landed, ones that didn't land. Counter punching, because Wilder did counter punch, right? Even the punches added up. I do not care about the 13 punch difference throughout the fight. Like, it's irrelevant. Okay, yeah, Fury landed 13 more punches, right? Punches that landed or punches that were significant. Yeah. What jabs are better in the round? The ones that hurt, or the little flickering ones? Yeah. So yeah, I know one judge had it wide. It shouldn't have been that wide, but I don't know, man. Like, it was a tough fight to score. It really was. Even if I gave round 11 to Fury, I mean, that leaves Fury with 6 rounds. And then Wilder's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a draw. But you got 2 knockdowns. So in a fight, in a boxing match, what's better? Fury's work or Wilder's work? It's a draw. Right? And I'm sorry, but the first 4 rounds, they're Wilder's, like Fury, what if Fury won 1 round? He would have won the fight by like 1 round. Right? But for me, he doesn't do it, Even when round 5 is close, I could have given that to Wilder, but I gave it to Fury. Okay? Like, it's 7-5. Wilder. Honestly, like, I just feel like the aggression was there. I might make a prediction video. Yeah, like, Wilder won the first few. Then in the middle of the fight, Fury won. Then that knockdown in round 9 let Wilder like just distribute the score even more. Round 10, Fury. Round 11, Wilder. He worked hard, right? And he thought, okay, I've worked that round, so I just need 1 more round. And I should be good. With a knockdown especially. And he got that knockdown. And he landed, more punches in that round. Let me know your thoughts below. Like obviously I'm going to get rid of trolls or whatever. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. Like or dislike the video. Because listen, like, this is so subjective, this sport. So it's all good to have an opinion, but it's got to be reasonable. Okay? You got to have facts behind it, right? Because what I've said is not just what I think, it's what I've actually seen. It's what's actually happened in the fight. Yeah? And it's how the sport works, how combat works. Yeah? Because you have to remember, this is something that Derek Chisora back in 2011 and 2014 could not do. In 2011, Derek Chisora was the man of Britain. He was the guy fighting Helenius. He got robbed in that fight. People loved Chisora, and then Fury came in and outboxed him. Chisora had him in trouble in round 2, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't win. He got outpointed. In 2014, he got schooled, and he retired in his corner. His cornerman, Don Charles, threw it in for him. Right? Vladimir Klitschko won no rounds of the fight. He probably won round 12. Like Wilder did. But Wilder won way more rounds. He won the majority of the rounds compared to Fury. I'm not saying Wilder schooled Fury, but like compared to Klitschko, like Wilder had a very good performance. But there's so much he has to do still in order to make sure that Fury doesn't, be, sort of comfortable in there. So 7-5, Wilder wins. A lot of the fans are going to be mad, but hey, I'm saying my own opinion, And I'm actually, like, literally quoting what happened. So, yeah, we learn something new every day, and I've learnt that I've gotten this whole thing wrong, and thought that Fury got robbed, and now I've looked back and I've thought, what? Wilder outpointed him. And he did the better work. Oh dear, I can't wait for the comments on this one. But yeah, listen. For those that watched, thank you. And I'll be in with another video. Maybe a Brazil versus Wilder one. Let me know.